Hello and welcome to Friends of Bob's Barn Workshop. Here we are again. The second bedroom remodel. Of course, we did the office remodel a couple of years ago. Now this is a slightly bigger bedroom. Those are my oldest daughters. And we're doing a project in here now. You see we've already started taking off the wallpaper on the bottom. Now I did this chair rail years ago. And I think we're going to paint above and below it. I have already knocked out the old sliding closet doors. We have bifolds going in there like we did in the office. New carpet coming. So there's really no sense of showing much of this. We're just demoing. We're just peeling the wallpaper off. The wallpaper is that easy peel stuff. I'm really surprised on. You just get a hold of the corner of a sheet. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to restore the heater. Like I did in the kitchen dining room area. So that's it. I mean, that just peels off. The wife is busy with a spritz bottle with warm water and something else in it, maybe vinegar, taking off the backing paper that stays behind. But once you get that wet, it just slides right off. So that's all we're doing today. The big surprise of this video, and it may be a separate video, is building a Murphy bed. Now we bought a kit from Rockler for the hardware. And of course they give you a diagram of instructions and the right size of cut sheets and what materials you need and all that. So I'm just going to be going by that. And we're going to paint that matching colors. Haven't decided what yet. It's going to be birch plywood and poplar, which poplar paints well. Okay, so that's it. We're making a mess in here. I got to pull up the baseboards. I got to pull off the electric heater. I'm going to do the old spray her down and make her look fresh with Rust-Oleum. Alright. We'll see you in another episode. Alright, well, next sequence, we just took the whole afternoon. I didn't film any of it. We stripped all the wallpaper, washed the walls down there. The worst part was that darn little ribbon headliner thing that went around the top. We got that all off though. And we got the carpet cut out, pad pull up. We haven't cleaned and pulled all the staples yet, but we're beat. We're going to take a break now for the evening and relax a little bit. But we got carpet all out, pad all out, wallpaper off, and it's all packaged up for the garbage man. So next thing will be painting, I guess. She wants to paint the ceiling and walls. We're thinking about two-tone. The section above the chair rail of putting a lighter color with a similar color on the bottom. Maybe painting the bend that kind of colonial blue-gray, because we're going to build. Right where that light is, I'm going to build. Well, we've reached a milestone in the back bedroom remodel, if you want to call it that. I came in today and the wife has pulled all the staples and vacuumed up all the dust and debris that was under the carpet. You can't believe how nasty it gets under there. She's got the chair rail all taped off. I went around and patched up the nail holes from all the pictures. This was my oldest daughter's bedroom for a long time. So today I could paint the ceiling because we got to work our way down. And I could, as soon as this dries, I could actually do all the painting. I do need to build my jambs around for my closet door at the right dimension for the bifold doors, because the sliding doors that were in there, the hole opening was too narrow for the 2-foot bifold doors that we have had for a long time. Now here's the dilemma. You'll notice that the trim on the windows and my chair rail, which is covered now, is in a darker stain, but the doors are natural oak. I don't think they look bad together. So I guess we're going to stain the jambs and trim for the closet because the doors are already stained dark walnut too. So that's what we're going to do. So that's the progress for now. The other thing is these outlets right here. This one under the door, switch by the door, is switched. And this one over here with the light plugged into it is switched. So here's the plan. There's hot wires in the back of that box. So I'm just going to use the same wire that comes over there, but I'm only going to switch the upper outlet. So I'm going to have to rewire that box to make sure that I got, you know, hot wires in the for that switched outlet. And I'm going to hook this one up so it's on all the time. Well, all the wires route back to this box, which has the feed in it. So if you know anything about electricity, your feed has to come in to one of the boxes and then feeds out. Now, sometimes they're hooked up so that the power is in the outlet boxes and they just run a wire back and switch the hot wire back and forth to the switch. That's not how this is done. The switch box is hot. So I'm lucky that there is hot wires over here in this box, so I can wire one half of the outlet hot and then just use the switch light. But what I'm going to have to do is go down in the basement and I'm going to have to run a piece of wire from that switch to that, which luckily those are in the same void in the wall, so that'll be easy. And then I got to go down and find this spot in the basement and underneath that in the basement and run a wire from that box across to here so I can switch half of this outlet. Because I want to be able to have a lamp on a dresser or something over here. And we're going to be putting a big Murphy bed between those two outlets. And what I want to do, excuse me, is use that switched outlet that's over there and put indirect lights up onto the ceiling. So at night, I think it'll be really nice. You come in here to go to bed, you just turn on the upper lights, you'll get that nice soft glow across the ceiling. It'll be kind of cool. Something to do different anyway. But I want to leave, we can put little end tables. And I want to leave one of these outlets hot so that they can have a charger, phone charger, or of course these days everybody's got a phone charger, or a clock or something. And then this outlet is hot all the time. So there you go. That's the progress. I bought, excuse me. This should be just about exactly 4.5 inches when I pull the sheetrock in. And I bought 6-inch 1 by 6, which is actually in reality maybe 5.5, 5.25 inches wide after they mill it. So I've got to rip that, and I got to get my shims, and I've got to frame up my hole so that it can hold these kind of doors. Let's go in here. If you remember when we did the office years ago. So I'm going to take my measurements off in these doors to get my opening right, and this is what they're going to look like when we're done in there. Now that white strip's going to be covered. I actually have a stained trim piece that I just haven't put up there yet. It's just like a 1-inch wide piece of the same wood stained that I'll screw up right along in front of it up here, flat, you know, sticking down so it covers the white strip. Alright, let's move on. Alright, another stage of the bedroom remodel project. I got both the upper and lower sections painted. I just painted the lower section, so that'll look a little blotchy because as the paint is drying. Not going to do anything with the closet. It's white, it's fine. I only bumped the ceiling a couple times, so I do have a little touch up to do with the white ceiling paint. But as I said, all the walls have been painted and the ceiling. And I just think that that dark green looks great with a dark wood. And so my next stage is to frame in and an exactly 48-inch wide door jamb around that closet so that my bifolds work like they do in all the other closets in the bedrooms and spare rooms. And I already bought the wood, so that will be the next stage of my project, touching those up, or not touching those up, cutting them to width, staining them. I'm going to stain them with the dark stain so it matches the windows and the chair rail. We're committed to that. And then in a few days our carpet goes in. All right, we are going to go to the lake. My wife is out of town. She will be back tonight. We're going to go to our cottage for a few days. And then I have to come back and finish this closet so the carpet can go in. And then she has her hip operated on May 10th, so a lot of stuff happening. All right, guys, see you next time. Well, guys, I'm sorry you didn't see this. Putting on the door jambs and trims for these door openings, because we're in a big mad rush. They're going to be installing the carpet tomorrow, so I'm just trying to get this stuff all done. And but we finished this. This is, I bought 6-inch pine, of clear pine, of course, and it's really only 5 1/4. I ripped it down to 4 1/2 because that's the thickness of a stud wall with sheetrock on both sides. And of course the ranch style casing. And what I did is I took my router and I made a 3/8 deep, 3/4 inch rabbet in here on both sides. I cut the top. This hole has to be exactly 48 inches. So I cut the top piece 48 3/4, plus you got a 3/8 insertion on both sides, so that makes it that much shorter. So I screwed that together first, and then I set it in the hole, you know, just like a big U shape, obviously. And we started leveling up this side, and come to find out it's tight at the bottom and needed about, oh, I don't know how many shims at the top. Looks like 2 shims, about a 1/2 inch over on the top to make it plumb. So we plumbed that, and then we plumbed across the header here and found that it was level. We didn't really need to jack it too much. So then we shimmed here, make it tight, nailed it here. Then we went down both sides with the level and shims. Now we really only needed nails in the center and in the bottom, because really the doors don't touch that at all. The bifold doors mount on a block on the bottom down here and a track on the top, so they really don't touch the sides at all. So these don't need to be super strong. But that is Trip. I think it's like early American walnut, and then it's got Minwax satin polyurethane on it. And then this is oak that's just got Minwax polyurethane on it. So that's the trick to doing that. So I've got to put the electric heater back in. That's been repainted, so I got to do that next. And we've got, I thought the baseboard was painted or already finished with polyurethane, and it wasn't. So I slapped one coat on it already. I'm going to run back out, put another coat on it, and that's probably going to have to do it because we got to get it done tonight, because tomorrow morning, wife and I both have appointments. So, and the carpet goes in at 8:30. So, yeah, we've got to get that baseboard down all the way around here. Now, unfortunately, the room is 12'8" deep, and the baseboard is 12'4". So I think I'm going to cut a couple of feet off each end so it makes it manageable, and we'll work it that way. All right, that's where we are. I have to touch up the paint just a little bit in the top because I got a couple of streaks, but that's not critical either. That could be done after the carpet. You just have to be very careful. All right. Well, guys and gals, the bedroom project is pretty much done other than hanging the closet doors. The carpet was put in this morning. It's a plush gray green to go with the green and the wood tones. Very, very comforting. I recut in around the top yesterday to make the line sharper and to fill in any thin spots. So what we have is bifold doors that are going to go in this closet opening. And I got my blocks down there for the hinges. They have to be up above the floor carpeting just a little bit. So I'm not going to paint the inside of that closet because pretty soon it's going to be full of junk and the doors will be on it and nobody will ever see the inside again. Alright, the heater's installed and painted, repainted, refreshed. Don't look like new, but it looks a lot better than it did. We don't really use the electric heat, only for emergency backup. And the ceiling fan is put back together. So this is kind of nice. I will show you the process of putting the doors in. All you really need to do is there's a little track that screws from here to the center, and of course the one from the center over. And there's a little hinge part that goes on the bottom down here that has the peg that fits into it for the bifold doors. And there's springs you put in the top of the tracks that put tension on the doors so they stay buckled in closed. And one of my things I always add is at the bottoms of the doors I put a little tab that sticks out on the back so that when they close they kind of suck each other together flat. Okay, that's it for now. Well guys, the bedroom project is done other than the Murphy bed, which will be a separate program, or yes, separate video. I got my valance shelf back up. My wife's got her tchotchkes back on it. Painting is done. Outlets are done. Got my nostalgic lamp that was a gift from my father to my mother when they were first married. Got the baseboard in. Doorstop, so the handle doesn't go through the wall anymore. And there's one little trim piece that has to go up here, but I got the bifold doors in. And the wife has started to put the stuff back in the closet. She's got a whole bunch of stuff sorted out for Goodwill. Originally we did all our closet doors in the dark walnut, so we had to stick with that theme. These doors have been stained dark walnut for a couple of years waiting to be put up in the barn because we knew we were going to do this project. So anyway, this room is going to get a lot bigger without the bed and without the day bed, trundle bed in here. And the Murphy bed is going to go right there. Unfortunately, it's exactly the same width as those two outlets, so we're going to offset it towards the closets so that the switched outlet is inside the back of the bed, and then we're going to run lights up in the valance so we have offset lighting in the top, indirect lighting. It'll be pretty. 2 switches for that, which I'm going to be doing the electrical, so you'll be seeing that too. Alright guys, well we're all done for now. We're going to call this done. I'm not going to make another video on it. And you can check up on the electrical wiring where I had to move some of the circuits around for the switches, because that used to be, that light switch there used to switch that outlet and that outlet, the whole outlet. So this one by the door you had to leave it on if you wanted to do anything, and that would turn this one on, which in turn would turn on the sconce lamp that we had. But anyway, we'll figure that out later on another video. Alright guys, God bless, see you next time.